You know, some guys go fishing on their days off. Me, I grab sandpaper and Bondo, and a whole lot of patience and pray I don't sand a hole clear through this Oldsmobile. Stick around, we're about to turn dents into destiny. I'm gonna try to work on some of this red car and remind you I have no real idea of what I'm doing, just a basic principles of it, I guess. But I'm going to take right now and clean all of this that's broken, or some of this that's, you know, like I said, you can see it's cracked enough. That's all gonna have to come off, I'm sure. As well as this big piece. As you can see, it's moving, so it's not gonna stay. I mean, it might for a period of time, but if I replace it all, chances are it'll hold up a little bit better. I don't know. So I'm gonna try to take that off, clean some of this up, and I'm not gonna go through any real details as to what a real auto body professional would do and how they would handle it and do, I don't know, whatever it is they do, work their magic. This down here is such a mess. I got to clean a lot of that up. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I am going to, in this big giant hole, I'm just going to use the magic sauce. That's what's going to transform this car to come out looking like it rolled off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Stay around and find out. Yeah, that's about as redneck as it'll get. I don't give a shit. It's a work car, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna see how everything turns out and kind of go from there. Hopefully it turns out decent. That's all I care about. It's kind of like I said, it's just more for fun, see how it turns out, how everything works and holds up. Trial and error.
We're always gonna last. Yeah, I do remember tears and the laughter.
What a thing of beauty. Look at that already. It doesn't get any more professional than that right there. All that rust down in there, we're just gonna let that ride on down the road, fall out wherever it will. Why? Well, because it is what it is. That goes down further. I think that's gonna be just beautiful. So, let's get a little bit of this cleaned up a little more on the inside. Maybe see if we can make it adhere to something. I was thinking about patching it with something different, but I still want to try that just to see how it all turns out in the final results. And as far as those, cleaning everything up with the Bondo that's existing, I just pretty much, I'm going along until all the free stuff that's not already adhered to everything and stuck to it, and the free floating stuff, I'm just pretty much cleaning that up. The rest of it, it's gonna stay. On second thought, I am gonna clean that out just so that that foam will flow down in there further and help kind of tie everything together better. Or at least I hope.
We gotta believe it is not too late.
Now, when I put that in there, you're gonna see those plastic tabs that hold that bottom molding on, with that foam, it's going to be a super bond. They're never going to come out. Okay, maybe they are. But it will help. And I mean, it will help just kind of tie everything in there. Yeah, it probably won't help at all. But we're going to give it a shot anyway.
But now we're at the end.
Truly amazing. Let it set up, then I can take and shave everything off kind of where I think it needs to be. I'm going to try to go in a little bit, like I said, and then Bondo over the surface. That's going to be watertight. While it's still wet, I just took this piece of metal that I cut out of there and I just shaved along there. It actually came off pretty good. So now I'm going to let it set up from there, and from there I can, once it's all set up, finished, I can start sanding, cleaning everything up, and then begin some Bondo work. Well, maybe that's not in the right order or steps, but that's what I'm going to do. The rust is penetrated and pitted in more spots. I'll clean it up the best I can. If it doesn't end up, I'll probably never get all that pitting out without going all the way through it. But I want to get it to where if underneath, at least it's bare metal and not rust as much as I can. Other than that, and I'm using that orbital sander for the majority of it, but I'll probably go through and hit it by hand. I don't know what is the very best method for, I mean, the more I can do by hand, probably the better in some ways. But to get it done quick or quicker, that orbital sander will help me a lot. This has got so many little dents and everything. Like I said, all this is going to have to be hit, and I'll probably have to get in this with just a piece of sandpaper in my hand to get more of that out. Look at that custom work though. I got to go through and get all this off too before I can keep sanding and working on that. But I wanted to get that down and just basically try to work on this whole side if possible. Get as much done as I can. Look at that though, huh? Redneck auto body. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but it's gonna get done one way or the other.
I'm used to get all I have. I'm used to get nothing back. Wherever I go, it's the same. There's no excuses, no one to blame. Sometimes I can understand how it can be so hard to stay out of pain. But with you everything has changed, even though we both stay the same. Would you call me on the midnight?
But I got that half, the driver's half, well, not half, driver's side done. And now I'm working on the front, coming around. I already did the hood a little bit. I gotta hit it again.
See you.
I've probably got to hit a few more of these spots. And like I said, that is so pitted, that's never going to come out. It's always going to rust through. I don't care for this though. Another thing really quick, let me go in here so it's not so windy. I took some of the little dents, like right there on the top of the hood. There was a little dent, it was pushed down. So I took that, straightened that just with the rubber mallet, nothing crazy. Like I said, I'm not no auto body guy, obviously. And I'm gonna hit around the edges kind of so that the paint, you know, hopefully I can get down, you know, around everything so the paint, when I get to that point, adheres to everything it can. I'm not gonna get, you know, deep down into it much further. So some of it will probably peel up, but as long as it'll adhere to a certain point where it's kind of out of sight. Other than that, I'm not masking anything or taking anything out right now anyway, because I'm trying to do this, like I said, as cheap and just whatever you want to call it, like I said, redneck, whatever. So therefore I'm not taping anything. I'm not well, I will when I paint, let me make that clear right now. But as far as just sanding and prepping everything, I'm going to try not to have to remove anything or tape anything off as much as possible. Some of the moldings and trim and stuff anyway is already either came off or it's sun rotted, faded, so I don't care about it. When I get to the point where I do the Dodge, I do want to do a better job on that. I'm not saying it will be great, by no means. These vehicles of mine, these will be, I think, perfect for what it is. And it's kind of a trial and error thing, like I said, cost, see how well it holds up. Maybe it will peel and fade and just go right to shit in a hurry. But like that one, my old Chevy that's been sitting there for a while, that's got rust on the hood. I got to get that kind of cleaned off, which I may do while I'm doing some of this, and just hit it with the primer to slow that down before it's pitting. But the same thing, you know, you get factory paint that comes off, and I mean, don't get me wrong, that's old, but some of those paint jobs were peeling, you know, 4 or 5 years into it. And anyway, I do got to be careful with the lights, because you guys, if you've seen my last video, I restored those lights, so I do got to be careful with those. Other than that, like I said, I'm just going to go through and keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully get it sanded down close. I'll have to do it in, I'm not sure how many stages. Right now I'm just trying to get the peeling clear coat, the rust, and that Bondo and the other stuff cleaned up. But as far as everything else, like this plastic bumper, it's cracked right there. I'm not going to do anything with that. These I'm just going to leave zip tied. I'll just paint over them, and I'll try to finish that too while I'm at it. But that's pretty much it. So I guess I better get to it. I know what you're thinking right here, seeing all that dirt and everything fall. I should have washed it. Yes, I probably should have at first. But guess what? I decided that's what's going to give it character. It's just really all these little things, the dents, the cracks, the zip ties, the dirt without the wash. It's all going to be character. It's going to be part of the car. Did take the rear fin off I might take off some of the lettering just with the heat gun, scrape it off, clean it off, just because I don't need it, and it'll just create more of a pain when it comes time to painting. I already have enough to mask off, more than I want for what I'm doing, and I've been out here pretty much all day. And I still got to get it one or two more different grits for sanding, because I used a 80 to start with to really get down with where the Bondo and stuff is. The clear coat, you know, like I said, it was peeling off, but you still have to work to get that off, otherwise some of it will even peel off after if you don't get it. And maybe it's still not even enough, I don't know. I might Bondo this stuff up first and get all that. And if there's any other little dents that I know there's one over there. So I'll start on that. I don't know how many videos this will take, because until I edit it, like I said, it's nice to be informative as I can, but at the same time, if I were to film this whole thing and not time lapse or cut sections out, it would be hours long. So I can only do what I can do to make it work and try to make sense of all of it. This was obviously once upon a time wrecked. This rear panel, it's got a bunch of little dents and dings, like maybe somebody tried to straighten it. The Bondo is super thick, and I took it down in layers. It was cracking like it is right there. So I took it all the way down where those cracks were. There's a few more little ones in this. I'm just gonna leave those. They're probably gonna show up again, just guessing. But I've already got enough time into it for what it is, more than I wanted. So now I'm just going to mix up the Bondo, get all this stuff done with the Bondo. I don't know how many times or how many layers this is going to take, because the thinner the better. I've done it once, well, a couple times before on the Ranger, and the thinner the better, but I don't know. I also don't want to spend way more time than needed. And now that I've sanded everything, you know, with that 80 grit, I think I got I could probably get away with 3 or 4 more different times to sand it and really just smooth everything up each time. And then I'll have a final wet sand, primer, sand it again, and then paint. So a lot of time. That's why I say the guys that do it and do a really good job, kudos to them.
You ever wonder if we know what's best?
And that's how fast it is. This stuff's already toast. So now I gotta mix up more for that whole thing. Gosh dang it. Crazy. Well, apparently it's still working. I don't know if it's working good enough to hold up like it should, but we'll find out. By the way, I forgot to mention, I am doing all of this with, again, what little bit I know, you know, some of the very few basics, and ChatGPT. So I'm using a list of things, kind of in steps or different things that, like I said, I have the basic ideas, but just to make sure I don't skip nothing, materials list, kind of that kind of stuff. Some of this I've had before because I have a container, and some of these things that I've had when I tried doing some of this on the old Ford Ranger. But to do an entire car, never done it, never painted an entire car. The clear coat and the sanding steps and all that. Anyway, so ChatGPT is going to help guide me through this and hopefully keep me on the right track as far as what steps to do what, or make sure I'm not skipping something. Anyway, that said, I got that first one on there before it dried so dang quick. Now I'm going to mix up another batch, but I'm just going to hit, I got to go get a block. I hit this real quick with the orbital just to kind of rough it up. I have all my different sandpapers, but I just had some emery cloth, so I just hit these edges and went through and kind of cleaned that up. But anyway, I'm just going to keep going through, hopefully get this all feathered out and close. It'll probably never be even close to perfect, but that'll, I don't know, I think it'll look okay, especially for what it is. The truck luckily doesn't, well, hopefully by the time I get ready to paint it, won't have any more dents or dings or deep scratches, so that I can do minimal work on it where I want it to be a little nicer, especially because it's just a little bit nicer truck. It's in pretty good shape other than the paint, and of course the old flatbed's gonna go on it. So in the meantime, I guess we'll just keep working on this, and like I said, this is kind of my guinea pig to figure more of this out and hopefully perfect, or the best I can, perfect what I can to make it that much better on the truck. Although it doesn't look the best, I don't know, some of these spots I may have got on a little bit too thick, but again, trial and error, I don't know. A small part of me cares because I'd like to see it hold up, but another part of me is like, yeah, I don't give a shit. The flash time on this second batch was much better though, because I didn't get near as much hardener, so it didn't just take off on me and, well, waste a whole bunch. I'm gonna keep working on this, try to film some of it, but I just don't know. Like I said, this might be a one-part video for this, and then some more in another one. I don't know. It's just hard to tell, because by the time I edit it, try to give, like I said, what information I'm learning or know, or whatever, as good as I can, but at the same time making the videos not 5 hours long. That's gonna have to do it for tonight. I'm running out of daylight. For I don't know, for a rookie, I don't think it looks bad. No, it's not nowhere near done or smooth yet. I need to do some more with the hand blocks and everything, but it's better. I mean, that sucks. We had to cover up that styrofoam, damn it. That was probably the best part about the whole car, but it's coming along. I got a low spot here, one there, and then I've got to match up with that door, so I've got to build this out a little bit more. Same here, and just work everything. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I think about anybody can Bondo, but to make it look good, smooth, and not have any waves or dips, probably not going to happen for me, but I'm going to try it, and hopefully it turns out pretty good. I'm hoping I don't have anything to do on the Dodge as far as that extensive. I'm hoping a lot of that is mostly just the sanding, getting everything cleaned up really nice. Other than that, I think I can go ahead, and I was just gonna finish Bondoing this another time. I don't know if it'll be the final stage or not, depending on how everything comes out. if it is, I've already went over it with the whole car with 220. I was maybe gonna skip the I think it's 320 I have that I got. I was gonna skip that, and I still might on this one. I don't know. The more I do, the better the finish is gonna be. So I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna skip that or not to save some more time. If I do, it'll save me time. I don't know what the finish will look like, but if I end up doing it, it will also help me as far as kind of gauging the feel of everything for when I decide to tackle the Dodge.
How to move on without you. Oh, without you.
I screwed that one up. It's already hard. So now I gotta try it again. I still gotta hit this one a little bit, fill everything, those little spots in, and feather it out a little more. I got a couple little dents on that side. This one, I've got better, but it's still, some of this sets up quicker than me working it, and you can see it's definitely got some little waves and divots in it. So I got to get that closer and then hopefully block it enough and fill right up here. That's pretty close, but I got to fill in a little more there. Hopefully from there I can block it enough to get it close, because if not, it's gonna look like shit. But oh well. I'm gonna see if I can get this one more coat on really quick because I'm losing light. See if I can really get it a little creamier and maybe not get so much hardener to give me more time to fill everything in and feather it out. I hope I'll get that close, those little dents. Then I can finish with the Bondo, and then I can get to where I'm hopefully two or three sandings away from a little bit of wet sand and some primer. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm winging it. Well, I'm not sure if that looks a whole lot better, but hopefully once it's sanded I can clean it up. I don't know, hopefully good enough where it's, oh yeah, and we're using that cardboard and some of that stuff drying up. I was hoping that wouldn't be as big of a problem, but I figured it might be, and it is. And then my one little plastic tool has a little notch in it, so it didn't help. It was dragging things through there. I don't know if I'm thick enough or heavy enough. Maybe I can get enough of that rough stuff sanded out that it's smooth. And like I said, this one doesn't got to be perfect, but I would like it to be as good as possible so I can improve a little bit on some of these things. Again, I'm not an auto body guy, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we're gonna see how it turns out in the end. Got to have something for some sort of a paint booth set up. Try to keep the dust and everything from blowing all over, sticking in the paint. Like I said, it might be interesting to see how it turns out as is, let alone with all the other things I've got to fight, not knowing what I'm doing. But hey, I got ChatGPT on my side with instructions, and that's just like, I just use it for the paint, like some of the sanding stuff and the paint mixing, what paints I need or what's suggested, I guess. Again, it is nothing like having someone that knows what the hell they're doing, but we're just doing it to see how it all turns out. So hopefully good.
By the sea, promised you love ain't just a thing made of a broken, and we climb just to fall, and we gave it all, 'cause I am nothing but a wrecking ball.
Life's sometimes a little like bodywork. Most of us are a little dented, a little scratched, and in need of a little sanding in spots or around the edges. But with effort, grit, and faith, we can always polish it out, keep working harder. Thanks for hanging out with me on this first step of the Oldsmobile trial project. Until next time, God bless and stay America first.
Right into the sun, and summer was round.